Hey, it's Cashflow Mike, and welcome back to the Clear Path to Cash. And today I'm going to stick on the Advisor Hub, but I'm going to focus on one of the things I think is the most important piece for you as an advisor. And that is going to be under the quick actions. We're going to go to quick assessment. Now, little secret, I used to call this the sales calculator. Why? Because this is the tool that's going to close more sales for you than any other thing you do in your business right now. Because the quick assessment is so different. When people go in and talk to an advisor, what they hear is, here's my package for this, here's my package for that, here's my package. You're not going to do that. What I teach you is a conversation style that focuses on the burning issue. That's the problem that they have. That's the reason why they came to the meeting to begin with. So 95% of the time, it's going to end up right here on the quick assessment. Why do I say 95% of the time? Because if people need help in their business, it's usually because cash is out of whack. So let me show you this. If I'm talking to you and you don't even need to create a client or put in a lot of data, this is going to be so slick, it's going to blow your mind. And guess what? Blow somebody else's mind. Because if we were talking together and I was trying to sell you on my services, I would start here, quick assessment. Now, in the quick assessment, it's a business cash impact calculator. And what that means is, who are you? How do you compare to others? And what's your business worth? Think about that. I didn't sell you a package. I'm going to show you where cash is leaking out of your business. And I can do this in the first 15 minutes of a conversation. And it might sound something like this, like, hey, what brought us together today? And the client would say something like, well, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to make payroll next week, or I feel like I'm always out of money, or everything's clunky, or, I'm making money on paper, but I never have any in the bank account. When you hear things like that, they're talking about either a profitability issue or a cash flow issue. Those are two of the 6 different burning issues that I teach inside the Clear Path to Cash. So all you do is open up the quick assessment. How I transition to it is I said, you know what? Hey, I realize we're here for, kind of feeling each other out if we want to work together. But I got this tool, this little technique I use. Let's see if we can just solve one of your problems today. And then I transition, right? You see how easy that was? I took you from their problem that they said, sounds like you might have a cash flow problem. Let me show you if we can find it. So I go over to the quick assessment and I just type in their name. Well, I'll just make it a made up name, LW Enterprises, and then find their industry code. So let's say they're in construction, right? I think you got to spell construction right first, but if they're in construction, I'll start typing that in. And down below, I'm going to find different construction opportunities. Here it is. We'll say it's new single family housing construction, or whichever one it is. But the point is, you just start typing in keywords. I try to point you to the exact place where the industry data is located. This has a complete database of all the industry data based on NAICS code. All you do is pick which one you want to use and then start. Now, there's 2 different things we can do here. If you can get them to tell you 10 numbers, this is fantastic because it's your information, that's your client's information. They just tell you. And I always tell people like going, hey, I realize we're new. Maybe you don't trust me, look at your numbers just yet. But what if you just guess? What if you guess, or if you know the numbers off the top of your head, let me know what they are. And the numbers that they give you, I don't care if they guess, because remember, this is about you selling and showing your tool. And I'm going to tell you what, even if they guess, even if they make up these numbers, these 10 numbers, after they see the result, they're going to want to see it with the real numbers, and they're going to share them with you. So I'm just going to load it with sample data, but we're looking for numbers because this will help me produce 2 different calculations. One is the mining your business for hidden cash. It's going to show me where cash is leaking out of the business. The second is the value of the business, right? So everybody's kind of curious. You're going to show them the value in the first 15 minutes. So I'm going to load it with some sample data. It just fills in the blanks for us, makes it a little bit easier. You can type them in. You can use this with a client. Hey, let me show you what this looks like first. And then you click Analyze My Business, right? When you click Analyze My Business, it's going to instantly populate this chart. Now, this is the cash leak chart, right? The cash leak chart is separated into two different categories. One is the cash generating activities. This is like vertical analysis in a business. It starts with, sales and ends with, net profit. These are the categories that you can affect. You can't do anything in net profit, but you can do something to sales. You can do something to gross profit. You can do something to operating expense. Net profit is just a result, but these are the three things that you can control. Down below are the cash conversion activities. Now, these cash conversion activities is how long does money take to move through your company? This is important because most people will stop at just the profitability side, which is sales to net profit. But the length of time is the difference between I'm making money, why don't I have any? Because you're still waiting for it to come in, and all the meantime, you're paying it out. So here's how you use this. Right now, I tell people right instantly, hey, those numbers you gave me? We just found $900,000 leaking out of your company, right? It's just leaking out. Now, what this chart tells me is where it's leaking. It looks like you're doing pretty good in sales, right? Because it's green and above line. This is how you read this chart. When it's green and above the zero line, zero is average, because on the other page, we're comparing them to other people in the same industry. So if I'm exactly like the industry, it's zero. I'm exactly like everybody else. I'm getting a C in business. Well, if I'm better than the industry, it's going to be green and above the line. If I'm worse than the industry, it's going to be red and below the line. That's how you read this. So I'm going to turn off the things. I'm going to pat them on the back. Hey, you're doing great with sales. Don't worry about that. And I just turn it off. And you see what happens? It reorganizes the chart so I can focus you in on where your biggest problem is. Remember, they came to you in the sales call because they had a problem. Now you're going to show them two things. I know where the problem is, and I can fix it. Right? So now we got gross profit. They don't have a pricing problem. They don't have a problem with cost of goods sold. So I just turn that off. They're also pretty good at inventory. They don't have too much inventory. I might say something like, hey, doing great managing your inventory. Are there things that you run out of? When it's green, that means you're having less inventory than everybody else. You're keeping up with your sales volume, but you're less than everybody else in the amount of inventory that you have. So let's just turn off the inventory. AP, this is how fast it takes me to pay my bills. We're about the same as the industry average. So I'm just going to turn that off as well. Now I've got your attention. I'm telling you, in the first 15 minutes we've ever talked, there's $900,000 leaking out of your business, and it's in these two buckets, right? You have an operating expense problem, meaning there's $250,000 there, and you're collecting too slow. Now, I know exactly where to go. I've got tools. I can show you in the app other tools that we've got that will tell you the exact right action to take and how to put this money back in your pocket. Here's the better step, right? Not only did I find you $900,000, I'm going to show you, hey, where it is, and then I'm going to show you how much your business is worth today. And when we work together, remember, this is a sales pitch. We're not working together yet, but when we work together and we put that $900,000 back in your pocket, it's going to improve the value of your business by almost $2 million, $1.7 million. So that is the closer, because what I close with is this sentence. Hey, I just found $900,000 in your business. And when I help you put it in there, put it back in your business, it's going to increase the value of your business by about $2 million. Would you like my help? That's the closer. Then you just tell them how much it costs. Even if it's $3,000 a month, it's still a lot less than what you're giving them, $900,000. Everybody trades $3,000 for $900,000, bar none. That's your job. I'm Cashflow Mike. If you want to learn more about this program or anything else that I'm doing, go to cashflowmike.com.